closely, taking a lot of heat for it, but telling the truth regardless. Congressman, thanks so much for coming on tonight. So, it's not even a personal attack on Biden, and I certainly don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone in his present condition, but the United States, the future of the country hangs in the balance. And I don't understand how the Democratic Party can continue to support someone who's completely out of control.
I think what we're seeing here, Tucker, is we're focusing on his comments about regime changes. It was not a gaffe at all. President Biden just said out loud what the aims and objectives of his administration's policies are, which is regime change in Russia, to get Putin out of power. And, they're doing so through using the primary weapons of economic warfare. They're doing so by waging this modern-day siege against Russia, isolating, containing, destroying their economy, starving the Russian people in the hopes that the Russian people or the military will rise up and revolt and overthrow their government and get rid of Putin. And the reason why they're lying about this to the American people, Tucker, is they know that we are sick and tired of our country waging regime change wars. We remember how costly and devastating these wars in Iraq and Libya and Syria and others have been, and we reject them wholeheartedly. So if they were to come out and tell the truth, their polls would tank even more than they already are, and their politics would suffer. And that's really where we have to...
I believe you completely that clearly they want that. But what comes after? Killing people is relatively easy. Building things is really hard. So this is a real country with 140 million people living in it, huge energy reserves. Putin goes, then what? Have they thought that through?
I mean, the answer to that is clearly no. And this isn't just my opinion. We have history to look for to the answer to this question. In every one of these regime change wars, we've seen how the answer to the question, what happens next? Who takes charge after you topple that dictator? What weapons will they have under their control? They never have an answer to that question, and what we're seeing play out before us is following that exact same track record, only more dangerously so, because the American people are smart enough to know that a regime change war against a nuclear-armed Russia is very different from any other that's been waged before and will result in disastrous consequences that go beyond anything we could even imagine.
Yeah. Thank you for. I mean, these people who couldn't keep track of their own dangerous biological agents they were funding in Ukraine. They have no idea where they are. Obviously, they're going to keep track of 6,000 nuclear weapons. I don't think so. So you are saying things that almost nobody else in the public sphere is saying. You've said recently that Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, has been suppressing your message. Here's the clip of you explaining.
When people try to type my name into the search box on Instagram or the Discover box, my account does not show up. I'm also getting a lot of reports from people who are trying to at me, at my name, at Tulsi Gabbard, and mention me in their Instagram stories or posts, and they're getting a warning that says this account has posted false information.
So we're fighting for freedom in Ukraine, but we can't speak freely in this country? That's kind of the conclusion I'm coming to?
Yeah, pretty much. That's the conclusion is, big tech is acting as this dictatorship, telling us what we're allowed to say, what we're not allowed to say. The thing that they're saying, I'm spreading misinformation. Once again, there's no evidence, there's no examples, there's no notice from them saying, hey, this is what you're saying that's false.
Right.
Absolutely none of that. So it comes down to if they don't like what you're saying, if you're shining a light on the truth, then you're going to be shut down or silenced.
Yeah, well, I'd like to have some freedom here. I think that would be our first concern.
Yeah, I agree.
Gabbard, great to see you tonight. Thank you so much.
And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If ye love me,